All right, YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be quite short, hopefully, because I don't have too much to talk about and I don't have much footage to show you. In fact, I don't have any footage to show you, but I want to talk about my experience so far with the Glock 44. Today was my very first day taking the weapon out to the range, zeroing it, and training with it. And I have some thoughts so far. So I'm a little bit let down right now. I was expecting more from this pistol. As I spoke about in my last video, this is my most recent pickup, and every other pistol in my collection, aside from my Smith & Wesson MMT, is a Glock. I have a Glock 19, a Glock 45, and a Glock 17. This pistol is one of my newest acquisitions, and today's training session with it was not the greatest. I'll just say that. Some of the issues that I experienced with it were my own fault, and I own that. But some of the issues I had with this weapon were not my fault, and I believe are just due to this weapon's design. So to start off with, the thing that I was having trouble with specifically in the beginning was zeroing this weapon. So I have a Trijicon RMR-CC mounted to this platform, and my issues with zeroing it were entirely my fault. I'll just say that straight up. It is not a fault of this weapon. It's my fault completely that I was having such trouble firing this weapon. I shot about 12 iterations of 5 rounds. 12 iterations of 5-round groups at a target at 15 yards away, using a wide variety of ammunition, with everything ranging from 115 grain all the way through 147, as well as some 124 grain hollow point ammunition from Federal and Winchester. So had I not done that, and had I just stuck to 1 grain weight and 1 brand of ammunition, I probably would have had a much easier time getting this weapon properly zeroed, because when I was zeroing this weapon, I was shooting it from a supported position on a bench at 15 yards. Again, had I used 1 grain weight and not, messed with a hodgepodge of ammunition, this whole process of zeroing the optic probably would have been a lot easier, and I probably would have saved myself a lot of time and ammunition. In the end, my friend had to zero it for me, and thanks, Adam. I appreciate the help. But yeah, it was a tough time for me. I couldn't get this weapon zeroed, and he had to step in and use his own ammo. He was shooting 124 grain ammunition. He got it zeroed after about 3 or 4 iterations, and we were good to go from there. Following that, however, during a drill that I was conducting, I was doing suicides from one end of the range to the other, and firing controlled pairs on 5 targets in front of me. During that evolution, I ended up having a really bad failure to eject, to where the spent casing actually got stuck between the chamber and the breech face of the pistol. And I had to lock the slide to the rear, eject the magazine, and then get that spent casing out of the chamber in order to continue firing. So that was very inconvenient. Additionally, when I was doing those suicide drills, as I came up to present the weapon and fired my first couple of shots, the Streamlight TLR7 sub that is mounted to this pistol ended up flying off the weapon and in the direction of the target, and I completely lost the light for a little bit. I had to end up walking around the range and trying to find it, which I did, and I remounted it to the pistol. But the fact that that happened gave me pause about whether or not this is even something I want to consider concealing. So I wouldn't say that that's necessarily a fault of the weapon. Maybe more so it's how I interface with the weapon, or maybe I didn't have the light screwed down tight enough. Who knows? But like, the fact that it happened is annoying to me, and I've never had that happen on any other gun. For context, I usually train with pistols that have a TLR7A mounted, or a TLR1 HL. So yeah, this has never happened before. I've never lost a light on one of my guns, and yeah, that was really out of the ordinary, and I'm kind of annoyed that that happened. So there's that. Additionally, and I know there's no way of avoiding this, and I completely expected this to be like this from the start, but this gun is extremely snappy. Because this is a micro compact pistol that is fairly light and slim and small, this weapon has a lot of recoil. It has way more recoil than a Glock 19. For reference, when I shoot my Glock 19, it is one of the flattest shooting pistols that I have, and I have absolutely zero issue with like controlling this weapon when I'm shooting at rapid fire. This weapon, on the other hand, is much harder to control and be accurate with under rapid fire. Yeah, this weapon is much harder to control and be accurate with during rapid fire, and that is just simply due to the nature of the weapon being a micro compact pistol, but that is something I'm going to have to get used to, and it's something that I'm just going to have to train through and devote a little more time to in order to get past, right? I'm going to have to figure out a way to get past the snappiness of this pistol in order to make it an effective training tool, and eventually maybe a home defense, or, well, not home defense, but maybe a CCW weapon. For now though, with all of this in mind, I will not be considering carrying this anytime soon because of the lack of proficiency that I have with this weapon, how I perform with it on the range, on the firing line, and generally the weapon's performance so far just being a little bit less reliable than I would like it to be. It was only one malfunction. I only had that one failure to eject, but Glocks in general, I believe, do not have a break-in period. Every Glock that I've shot prior to this has shot without issue right out of the box. All I had to do was lube it up and put some rounds through it. It was always as simple as that. That's not the case for this gun. This gun had a malfunction within the first 200 rounds, something that has never happened with any other Glock that I've owned, and that's given me some pause. So I'm going to continue to see how this weapon breaks in, but right now I'm not very confident in it, and I need more time with it in order to form a better opinion on whether or not this is something I actually want to consider carrying. However, with all that said, what I can say for this gun that's positive is that I like the way that I've set this up. So if you compare these two guns side by side, they both have variants of the RMR mounted to them. I have an RMR Type 2 on this Glock 19, and I have an RMR CC on my 43X. I have two Streamlight flashlights on here, and yeah, the setup is very, very similar, and I purposefully set this gun up that way. That way I could have something identical to my 19. That way there's some overlap in the way that I train between these two pistols, and I'm not having to change my technique up or change up the way that I interface with the weapon too much in order to shoot either one effectively. So for now, hopefully this will serve as a good training tool and just a good training weapon. That way I don't have to put unnecessary rounds through my 19 and cause wear to my carry weapon. So if nothing else, if I never carry this, at least I can count on it to be a good training weapon. So that's what I'll say for it right now. My opinion may change as time goes on. It may change as I put more rounds through it, but that's how I feel about this gun right now. With that being said, that's all I have. I want to know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below on the 43X. If you own this weapon, let me know what you think of it. Let me know what your experience has been. If you've ever had any malfunctions with the 43X, please definitely let me know down in the comments below, because I really want to see what you guys have to say and what your experience was. But yeah, that's really about it. I hope to see you guys in the next video, and thank you for watching my channel. I hope you take care. Have a good night.